Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, we are kicking off our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, which we will be exploring all month long. And there is certainly a lot to celebrate here.
That's right, Cheryl. But what exactly Hispanic Heritage Month means may depend on who you ask. And Adela Garcia with Latina Success Leadership Program, she's here to give us her perspective. So welcome to Main Street Living. How you doing there, Adela?
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate the time.
No problem. I just want to start off with I love the shirt. I love that. It looks very good on you.
Yes,
Nice,
only
nice.
for the shirt.
Nice. Now, what are we really celebrating when it comes to Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, I think we're doing a couple of things. First of all, it is a celebration. It's a celebration of 62 million Latinos or Hispanics, however they are identified in the United States. We come in different flavors. We have a bond together in the language piece most of the time, but we really are doing more than just celebrating. We're also creating awareness of some of the areas that aren't working well for us, where we need attention. So it's a celebration, but at the same time, it's an education. And that's what I call it. That's what I like, and that's what I think that the people that I associate want to see happen.
Absolutely. Do you feel like that education obviously provides a lot of value? Do you think that that value is for Hispanic people, or is it more for non-Hispanics to learn more about different cultures in our country?
Oh, I think it's for all of us. I think it's for all of us because even this morning, Good Morning America, I'm a big fan of that program, and I'm hearing Cecilia Vega, and they're showing all of these different people from different countries. They all have the Hispanic or the Latino connection, and one of the things that she said that was very telling is it was specific to Hollywood, and it said, while we represent 18% of the population, it's really like 19%. Only 5% are in Hollywood.
Mm.
Now, when you have that many people that are in the population, and you have such a low representation, you really do need to focus some attention there. Most people don't realize that. I like to throw the number 62 million, because that's when you look at that percentage, you're going, wow, why aren't we there? And so I think that it's an opportunity to educate people and also to celebrate. When I was growing up, we didn't have any view of role models. I grew up, I'm a little older than all of you, but I grew up in the 60s. That's when I was in high school. And in the high schools, we were battling with some really tough issues with the population that was in the lower scale of the workforce, crumbling schools, no progression into college. And so people started to organize around that. And when Hispanic Heritage, it began as a week. It wasn't even a whole, month. It was a week, 5-7 days or whatever in 1968. But if you take a look at what was happening in the country in the 60s, there was a lot of unrest. So the idea that you could open the door for opportunities for women, minorities, for all of us, that expanded the workforce, that drew attention to how we needed to progress. This is important. This is really good stuff. Our kids should not be afraid or hold back on who they have as grandparents because of their heritage. They should be very proud. We are a country of immigrants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's so true. And you were touching a little bit on your growing up in San Diego. Can you give us a little bit of insight of what you think is the difference between back in the 60s and where it is now with the Hispanic community with regards to the Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, I think the media has changed, right? So the communication, the ability to really highlight problems is very different. The information is out there. I think where the interest hasn't changed is, how do we solve this? How do we make it better? How do we as a country leverage all of our differences to really make the United States that much stronger? Hollywood gets it, right? They did the movie Coco.
Yeah.
And so when you see how it went viral around the world and what it spun off, it's good business. So I think that it's really important for people to just be honest. And then we don't have all the problems solved. We don't have all of the ways, but you celebrate the steps.
Yeah, and I so agree. Coco is such a great example because there's more stories to be told. We don't want to just keep seeing the same old ones. So,
Yeah.
as our country becomes more intertwined and more multicultural, do you think it's still really important to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month?
Oh, absolutely. Look, when I was a little girl, and even today, we celebrate St. Patrick's. Okay.
Hmm.
So what's the big deal? I mean, I love a good party. I think most people love to join forces to celebrate. So what's the big deal? I mean, if you're able to highlight the best of the country of Ireland, okay, why couldn't you do that with all the other countries that represent this country?
Yeah.
And I think it's an important thing. I don't want to ever lose this. I don't want to get hung up in how it should be called, because
Hmm.
there's tremendous benefit in being able to use this platform to not only highlight the good things and the great accomplishments of individuals and things that are happening from people of color, but it's in Latinos and the Hispanics or whatever, Latinx, whatever your choice of how you choose to identify. But at the same time, use that platform to also educate right
Hmm.
alongside so that we can keep this going and really make our country that much stronger.
Yeah, like keep it going, make the country much stronger. And you were touching on something regarding, how Hispanics may fit into a specific category, right? So do all Hispanics celebrate the month in the same way?
I don't know that they celebrate. I know that the Chicano, most of the Chicano community, and I consider myself a Chicana,
Mhm.
um, a lot of them have a real problem with Hispanicize. I don't. I
Hmm.
look at what are the benefits in the middle, and then how can we leverage on that. I don't want to get stuck on labels. I really don't. But I
Yeah.
understand that some people invested a lot and they want to be associated with that. And I honor that. But I think the choice of how you associate yourself, if you identify yourself in a particular category, is fine. I know that I go to friends of mine and they're Colombians from San Salvador, Nicaraguenses, Cubans, Puerto Ricans. We all share some thread that's very unique and goes across all of us in terms of how we love our families, how we enjoy each other. Our changes in music might be different, our changes in
Yeah.
food. But at
Right.
the end, I think we all have some thread that goes very deep and holds us together. And I want to celebrate that.
As you
Absolutely.
should.
And I'm with you. I like to party. I like a good celebration. So what are some ways that viewers can celebrate or get involved during Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, I think the best thing that you can do is to really take a look at what's happening in your city, right? Because in my city, like the mayor of Chula Vista has an event for El Grito. El Grito is the cry for the Independence Day of Mexico. And by the way, I had to study this because I'm Mexican American. So for me, I know the Grito, but I understand that there's also other countries that celebrate Independence Day about the same time from Central and South America. So for me, look at those. They offer the
Hmm.
food, the music, the feel good, and it's a celebration. So we have a house of Mexico now that just came up in Balboa Park here in San Diego, and that's a wonderful venue. The Mexican Council
Hmm.
from here in San Diego. He's having an event over on India Street. So there's all kinds of things. But even in your own home, sit your kids down, talk to them about how important it is that they be proud of who they are and talk to them. And when you see something on television that shows one of the stars, because there's many wonderful people now that are in key positions and making significant contributions, tell them, hey, that's just like you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I think that's the easiest thing that we can do. So for me, it's a celebration, but I don't want it to be just 1 month. I want it to be all year long.
All year long.
Absolutely. Adela, thank you so much for your time today. And we appreciate you educating us on this today.
Thank you very much.
Amazing work. Amazing work. Adela said it best. It should be all year round.
Yeah.
Coming up next, though, I wish Main Street Living was, all year round. I guess it is. Next up, we're going to meet with an incredible athlete. Don't go anywhere.